All right, welcome back. Last episode we jumped over the moon, and this episode we are going to see what contracts we have, and we'll probably go from there. So, got ourselves a contract here to explore Kerbin. This is the contract for rendezvous two vessels in orbit of Kerbin, so I will accept that one. Well, I might as well accept. We have 10 years to complete this contract, so might as well accept this one too, and just take the advance money for it. Now, one thing I like to do is fast forward a little bit, do a few orbits, a few days. Oh, we can also get rid of some of this debris. So terminate that. I guess we'll recover that. So I fast forward a few days and, oh, it's dark, hold on. Fast forward a few days and usually some other contracts will pop up, but it looks like nothing. Some went away. We got science data from the surface. So, oh, I haven't updated this, so I can't even get more than 2. So we're good right there. All right, so our main goal right now is to rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit. That means this node is going to be our go-to. We don't have to dock yet, so I don't have to actually get this because it doesn't have us transferring Kerbals from ship to ship. We really want these RCS controls. So I'm going to get that. Now we don't have enough. And since we don't really need to gather any science, I am going to do a new craft, and I guess we'll call it the K1 Charlie. And we're going to get this guy right here. We are going to do white, save it. I'm just going to do the same basic setup as the other K1. Real quick, put a parachute there. Put a, whoops, can't do that. Put a heat shield there. All right. Now this does have 10 units of monopropellant. We're going to need a little more than that. So we'll probably put that in the next stage, or in our actual orbital stage, I guess you could call it. And so here we got a decoupler. I'm going to use small fuel tank because we really won't need that much. You know what? I'm actually going to... I don't have the really small fuel tanks yet. Oh, and I don't have... Yeah, we'll just go with the fuel tank here. We're going to let this Terrier engine do most of the work for us. Then I'm going to put the service bay right here. Now you're going to notice it's not coming with the capsule this time. I don't need it to. I want to put some fuel tanks in there. Make sure this doesn't clip. All right. So there, we got some RCS in there. Now the main objective here is we want RCS control right about center of mass. So if this is zeroed out, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split this fuel tank into 2. One up here, and then one here. That's going to adjust it so this should keep my center of mass somewhat in the same spot. So if I fill all these up, no, I got a better idea. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these 2, and I'm going to put one of these here and this at the bottom. Now it should still work. Now if this drains down, puts my center of mass there, so I can sort of approximate just a little bit below there. So we want 4 of these. We want to get a nice orthographic view, and we want to go just below. Okay, so we now have our RCS control, and we will do more with that in a little when we get up there. But first, I want to put this on the launch pad and make sure everything is going to work as advertised. So I'm going to, whoops, do this, put this guy there, and I'm just going to launch it. Of course, nothing's going to happen. I just want to make sure the RCS works, and I want to make sure the fuel will actually flow down to the engine. Oh, I never put fuel on it. Hold on. Vehicle assembly. I gotta fill this tank up. Where's my center of mass now? Yeah, right there. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna launch it. And like I said, this is just so I can make sure that the fuel is flowing to the engine. All right. So it works this way. This part, this service bay, does cross feed. So beautiful. We can go ahead and revert. Now, this is our spacecraft. We'll call it the... actually, yeah, let's change this to the K1SC spacecraft. Then we can go over here to the K1C. We can delete that one. So the K1AC is our first spacecraft, and that is because it is meant for maneuvering around space. And eventually we'll get a docking port on it, and we'll go from there. All right, so now we've got that done. Let me just change that. We'll put another coupler on, or decoupler. Then, we'll make this quick and easy. We got some fuel tanks. Let's do our first liquid fuel rocket, I suppose. So we got a couple fuel tanks here. I'll stack it up nice and tall. That's all right. Mass 171 newtons. This engine doesn't quite cut it for us, but we can do a couple of these with it, which I don't really want to do. I can just use this. The problem is maintaining gimbaling ability and control in the air. So what I can do is put an SAS there, or down near the bottom. That should give me enough torque around. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll give it a try. So that we don't really have any gimbaling ability. We have 0 gimbaling ability with this engine. We have a little bit higher thrust, but what I can do is, before putting that on, I did unlock this SAS module. And this SAS module will, they're just reaction wheels in there that throw torque around, and it'll give me enough torque to control this, hopefully. We'll see. It's kind of a long lever arm there. Okay, so this will be our first liquid fuel rocket, and yeah, so we're going to put this vessel up into space. We'll put Maxtus in there. We'll put this vessel up into space. This will sit there, and then we will rendezvous with another one of the exact same design. So yeah, we're going to just go ahead and launch right now. Oh, first we got to put our struts on. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's not... Darn. I just screwed up my save file. There we go. So that's K1 KSC. We'll call this K1 SC R3, since it is a different rocket than before. We'll launch. All right, so Maxtus is going to be our first ship up there, and then we'll probably go get a new pilot. I think I have space for some more pilots, so we'll probably go get a new one and get them some experience. So we're going to bring our throttle up and release the struts. We have good lift, plenty of delta V, Should have enough delta V to get us to orbit. Let's get us close. We seem to be holding pretty strong with the SES module down at the bottom. All right, we're going to go out here, we're going to look, and we're going to start tracking our apoapsis. Times 2 speed. And here we go. Apoapsis is climbing steadily. We're still climbing steadily. We aren't tilting north or south too badly. I'm not going to worry about that too much because we don't really need any precision orbits yet. Alright, so we're going to see how I can decrease my liquid fuel engines and I can maintain about a 1.1 thrust to weight ratio. I'm going to start tilting a little bit. I'm getting pretty high. I'm going to dip down below the 1 mark only because I don't want it to run away from me. Alright, we're slowly starting our turn here. I'm just basically following this orbital marker down. I'm going to let, obviously I want this Kerbin apoapsis to get up above 70 kilometers, which we should be able to get to at this angle. We're just, what, 50 degrees above the horizon? Yeah, we should be able to get there. Just going to slow down a little bit more. I don't want it to get too far away from me. The farther you are away from your apoapsis, the more you're wasting fuel. Unless you're at the periapsis trying to push your apoapsis out. Alright, so we're going to flatten out. And we're going to achieve our orbit. Now we changed to a weaker engine, so we do need to nose up again to get that apoapsis back with us. The apoapsis is currently behind us right now, but it's not far. I don't know if this rocket's going to make it. If it makes it, it's going to be close. All right, bringing on RCS. To try to push us up the rest of the way. So RCS is just, I can show you right here. There are these little thrusters on the edge right here, but they're usually used for control. Really, all I need to do is make sure I get to orbit. My next vessel can make sure I have enough fuel to maneuver up in space. So there we go. So we're at 71 and 71. It's very circularized. And here we are. So I am going to orientate myself into an RCS orbital orientation, which is just north is up, south is down, etc., etc. So when I press the A key, my nose actually turns left and right in the direction I'm going. It's just for my brain, so I know where we are. Okay, so I'm going to sit this here, and I'm going to raise my apoapsis up fairly high. Oops, RCS isn't on. So I'm going to raise this apoapsis up to probably 100, and then the next rocket I send up will do the same thing. Except on the next rocket, we will do it to rendezvous. So we're going to fast forward through here. So you can see that time marker. That's how I know how close I am to the apoapsis. And this side, I'm just doing a reverse thrust because I'm already pointing in the retrograde position. So I want to do a reverse thrust so that I go in the prograde direction. There we go. So we're at 100 and 100. Not too bad. Again, very circular. So now Max Deuce is just going to sit there, and I'll be back with another vessel at about 70 kilometers. Same thing. We're going to do the same thing, except we're going to be rendezvousing instead. All right, welcome back. So we have now circularized, well, nearly circularized, but we are going to start burning towards our target right here. And basically we need to extend out. We need to raise up our apoapsis closer to our target's orbit and see just how close we can get here. Might be a little bit behind at this point. Oh, that's not bad at all. Wonder if I can adjust. Bring the separation down. The key that you want to look for in this is the separation line right there. And you just want to keep hacking away at that as much as you can. See, we haven't even brought our apoapsis out to 100,000, which is where he is, which is where this vessel is. Oh. So yeah, we're just gonna keep dropping down here. We're gonna have a little bit of a separation, but we can adjust that when we get closer. Sometimes this is tedious, especially without. If I would have been able to do a maneuver node, this would have been much faster, because I could have found the best rendezvous point before doing any sort of burn or manipulation. So it looks like we're getting within 7 kilometers. It's not bad. I don't want to go too far. If I go too far, then I have to spend a lot of fuel to slow down. So what we're going to do, oh wow, we're going into the atmosphere a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to fast forward over to here. And the good part about this is you can do most of this from map view. You don't have to go to the ship view down here until you get really close. Looks like we went into the atmosphere a little bit there and slowed us down. It actually gave us a little bit closer, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. And using this targeting mode on my NAV ball, we can slow our speed relative to the target down. I'm going to use my engine for this. And by doing this, we keep the target. We kind of circularize around the target this way. Okay. So now our next closest location is 6.7. But what I can do now is start burning toward the target. So this little pink marker right here is points us directly at the target. You can see as I do that, my intersections are going to change. And over on this backside, we're getting within 1 kilometer. Not bad at all. So we'll try to max that out, get us as close as we can. There we go. And turn RCS off and fast forward. Now I'll go into my map view. And I gotta get to our retrograde marker here. And start slowing us down, because we're gonna fly right by. So basically all we're doing, like I said, is we're slowing down, and slowing down in reference to our target. So you have your orbit speed and directions, surface speed and directions, and you have your orbital targets, or orbital speed, or sorry, target speed and directions. Oops. Make sure RCS is off when you're turning, because it'll tend to screw up your line. Now, we're on a very good line here. We're almost parallel. We're on the same plane. So I am just going to point at the target. And I'm going to use my RCS to get us closer. You can see that number up there slowly dropping. Now, when it comes to this, the prograde marker pushes this pink marker. See how I do that? If I move this over to the left side of the marker and up, it's going to push down toward my... Whew, I got way too close there. Geez, that was really close. Did I get the contract? Oh, I did. I got it already. Okay, cool. So yeah, we got close. I forgot we weren't docking. But there. So we rendezvoused 2 vessels in space around Kerbin, and I think that's a mission success. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably bring these guys home off camera, and then next mission we'll do whatever contracts lead us to. Thanks for watching.